Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl JoJo, and I am coming to you with a special review for the Braxton Family Values / Iyanla Fix My Life Hotbed of Crazy. Y'all, I was here for it last night. I was on Twitter with everybody else giving my opinions. We had us a good old time down the timeline. If you were not there, honey, you was not nowhere. Twitter was lit last night when it came to Braxton Family Values. All right, before we begin, let's just get one thing straight. We watching Iyanla, right? We know how Iyanla roll, right? What do we know about Iyanla? Iyanla does not invite anybody to her show. In the words of Martin, they called me. If you come onto Iyanla's show, you called her. She didn't call you. She didn't invite you. You wanted to come. All right, we got that out of the way? Okay, that's gonna apply a little bit later on. Okay, so let's get into the preliminary. So before everybody's leaving to go on the show, you can tell everybody's a little bit anxious. We have Tawanda and Tamar filling out their paperwork, answering some questions that production is going to need to know. Now, y'all riddle me this. Why was Tawanda filling out Tamar's paperwork? Why? Why was that happening? Because what if there were things that Tamar did not want Tawanda to know, or maybe hasn't told Tawanda, even though we all know Tawanda knows where all the bones are buried when it comes to everybody's business. But I felt like Tamar should have been filling out her own paperwork. Like, I know that probably wasn't a big deal to most people, but we are trying to heal this family. We're trying to put stuff out there. Tawanda don't need to be filling out her paperwork. Tawanda doesn't need to be listing who Tamar might have problems with. And Tamar doesn't need to feel like Tawanda might be on her side with certain issues because she's filling out her paperwork. So everybody need to fill out their own paperwork. Matter of fact, Tawanda, why you weren't filling your paperwork out on camera? Let Tamar do yours. Yeah, I bet the story changes then. We find out why Tawanda and Tamar are sitting there, that Tamar says that Tracy lied on her. And this is my first time hearing anything about that, but she wants Tracy to reveal the truth about the things that Tracy has said about her that are not true. So I guess that's the issue we got to get down to when we speak to Iyanla. My air too cold, but I don't want my car to get too hot. So Trina and Mama Evelyn are out, and they're getting foot massages because Trina just wants to relax before this show. Trina has been on Iyanla Fix My Life before. Wasn't necessarily the outcome she would have wanted. She felt like Iyanla was coming for her mother, and also felt like Iyanla was coming at her about her parenting. I watched that episode, and Iyanla was asking her some tough questions. She was giving her some tough scenarios, but I felt like it was needed. I don't think that it was anything where she was trying to get Trina to go against Miss Evelyn. I think it was more so you need to acknowledge certain things about the way that you grew up and how those things have affected the relationship that you have both with your ex-husband, and your children. So, yeah, I mean, Trina didn't really like that, but it's understandable. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But Mama Evelyn and I were on the same page at first. Because Mama Evelyn felt like we've been to all these people, we've done all these things, nobody seems to be able to help us, and so they show flashbacks of Dr. Sherry, they show flashbacks of the Bishop T.D. Jakes. Nobody seems to be able to help the family. Like, why are we going to keep doing it? And Trina asks her, well, why do you think it is that we go to these people, but we act right for a little bit, and then it goes back to the way it was? And the mama says, because the root is still there. The problem is still there. The problem never left. So dark. Okay, that's a little bit better. The problem never left, and that's the reason why you keep going back and forth to counseling. Trina agrees with that, but here is where Trina, you can tell, is kind of giving Miss Evelyn the side eye. Miss Evelyn goes into telling us, nobody can fix my life. Only God can fix my life. She can't fix my life. And that right there, that's when I knew that me and Evelyn, we're going to have a problem today. Evelyn is old school. She's one of those types that believe if you just pray about it, it'll all go away. But baby, if that was the case, then there would not be plenty of doctors and medication. I believe that God helps those who help themselves. And if you need to help yourself to a psychiatrist, then that's all fine and well. Now, Iyanla is not necessarily a psychiatrist. She's a spiritual healer. But you know, your spirituality is a big part of who you are, so that's not a bad place to start. But immediately, you can tell that Miss Evelyn is going to have a problem in this process, and I can tell you from here, Miss Evelyn's behavior does not get any better as we go on. Okay, so then Tracy and her dad do kind of have a small conversation before the show begins. Tracy is at the point where she feels like she dog if she do and she dog if she don't. They're not going to care either way if she shows up and does the right thing or if she doesn't show up. So it's kind of like whatever with Tracy at this point. Daddy Braxton, he's just like, hey, let's roll. Let's get it over with. Let's do what we got to do. And so we got everybody there. Iyanla Fix My Life. Let's go. Why is it that who does the wardrobing for these women? Is everybody dressing themselves? Like, I cannot understand sometimes what goes on. Somebody on Twitter said last night, why is it that the Braxtons always show up to events dressed like they're not going to the same event? And that was the realest statement ever written on last night. They show up. Toni has on a sundress, but her boobs are out. It's like a low-cut sundress, which it wasn't an ugly dress. It just wasn't appropriate for a sit down with your family. Then she had on some sparkly flip-flops. It was just a no for me. Toni looks good, but no. And then Tracy came, as a ghetto fabulous auntie, as she always does. She had the shirt on with the lips on it, but the lip was kind of, biting down with the juicy red, glittery. The lips were juicy and it was red glitter that the lips had. No. It just wasn't a very mature look. It was too young for her. That shirt was too young for her. Maybe if she would have approached it and matured up the outfit, maybe with a blazer, then it might have been more acceptable. Then she had on those red shoes, which was so 2000 to me. Like, y'all remember when you used to make your shirt match your shoes? I don't think people really do that anymore, but I could be wrong. But no, it was just a no right there. Then you had Tamar, who looked like she showed up, literally ready to play in a video game. She literally looked like a Street Fighter or a Ninja Warrior. She had on this hat. She had on, I don't know if it was a onesie or just a two-piece matching set. She looks good. I actually like Tamar's shape. She's not very curvy, but, she's slim, and she looked really good. But, girl, where are you going? Some combat boots? And then you had Trina. Trina looked nice. Trina actually came appropriately, if you ask me. She had on something that was very muted, black shirt, just very sit down with my family type look. Tawanda was cute. Tawanda was serving body, but those shoes took me straight to the club. I love the dress. The Burberry dress was very nice. I would love to have something like that. But those shoes, they were platform, and they looked like they might have been clunky. I was just like, maybe a more clean shoe and she would have had it. But no, she lost us with the shoes. But I love the dress. Who am I missing, y'all? Mama Evelyn. Evelyn came. Now, Evelyn looked good now. Evelyn looks very good. But Evelyn came in a red jumpsuit. Belted, because old folk love belted. I mean, love it. I used to have a manager that would wear a t-shirt with a belt. Yeah, but older women love a belted look. So Mama Evelyn had it belted. Mama Evelyn had on red from head to toe. From her lipstick, her fingernail polish, her toenail polish, her outfit, red from head to toe. And Iyanla actually noted that she had on red from head to toe and said, you got on your war color. Mama Evelyn came to do battle. And that she did. So immediately when we sit down, everybody kind of has this air about them. You can tell that there's so much tension in the room. Of course, Iyanla senses it. Iyanla, what's going on with Iyanla? Like, do she got bad knees? What's good with the limp? She already limping, and she just probably slid into her shoes. I don't understand that. But she comes in there, she greets everybody, and she asks everybody, why are you here? Crickets. Nobody has anything to say. And I was just like, see, here we go. Here we go with the BS with them. See, this is another part of the problem. Y'all will talk and talk and talk and talk amongst each other, get together, have the opportunity to address the grievances, and then y'all will be quiet. It's the weirdest thing. It is the weirdest thing. And they never get issues resolved. So nobody has any answers for Iyanla. So now she has to kind of probe and prod and try to get something out of people. Toni does end up speaking up eventually. And it gets to the point where Toni is the only person speaking up. So Iyanla says, it seems to me, Toni, that you're the one that keeps talking. You're the one that keeps bringing stuff up. And Toni was just like, yeah, well, I am kind of the one that keeps talking. And she said, is that true? Is Toni the one that speaks for y'all? And everybody was just like, yeah. Pretty much. Tony is the oldest, and she kind of has become like the spokesperson for the family. She's also become the mediator for the family. And it's just, not because she wanted the position, but because it is just what it is. So you can tell Iyanla made note of that in her head. She turns around to Tamar. Tamar, what's going on with you? Why are you here? Tamar says she don't know why she's here, but eventually Tamar admits that she is there because she's hurt. And Iyanla says, well, if you hurt, then why didn't you say that when I asked you how you were feeling and why you're here? Well, because that didn't come to mind. Tamar is hurt because there have been lies told about her, and she wants the truth to be revealed. It's her second time letting us know that somebody done told some lies on her. So we know she talking about Tracy though. Mama Evelyn says she really don't know why she's there, and she says it with plenty of attitude. I don't know why I'm here, honestly. I don't know what I'm here for. I don't know what we need you to do. That's kind of what Mama Evelyn's air was giving off, and I could not believe that has taken me this long to realize that the attitude that some of those girls have, they learned from their mother. And y'all been harping on Mama Evelyn for years. People on Twitter, people on Facebook, and I just refused to see it. I really did, because there's something about moms, and there's something about moms who stick it out and raise their kids when the husband decides to live his life. There's something about that that's very hard for me to turn away from. And so I always rolled for Mama Evelyn, because she was a woman who had been hurt and was holding on to it in a lot of ways. But her behavior on this show was so unacceptable. Her attitude was so nasty from the gate. It was Tamar. All of this. All of the and the whole episode, that's what Mama Evelyn did. And I'm like, we always harping on Tamar about her attitude, but all of this that we see from Tamar, all of the grandiose and the dramatics and the behavior and not getting her way, she may have learned from her mother, because I'm seeing a very ugly side of Miss Evelyn. Then we move it on over to Tracy. Tracy, you're hurt. You look like you're in pain. What's going on? You want to talk about it? Tracy said, ain't nothing to talk about. I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm done with it. I'm numb to it. And Iyanla said, oh, you numb to it? Well, tell your face you're numb, because your face is in all kind of pain. So then Iyanla tries to get to the good times. Like, let's get some feelings of nostalgia in the room, and maybe everybody will loosen up. So tell me when it was good. Everybody's loosening up. Everybody's laughing again. When they started laughing, you guys, I felt myself get warm. I smiled, because this is what we miss. Everybody, all of the viewers, we miss them being together. We miss them, even their little petty arguments that they would have at rehearsals or family dinners. That didn't bother me. But the stuff they have going on now, it's ridiculous. And it really is bothersome, especially when you have been a day one fan of this family. So Iyanla is trying to get them back to where times were good. They're laughing, they're talking, and then Iyanla wants to know, tell me when the switch up happened. Well, the switch up happened when we got our deal. Tracy got pregnant and she couldn't perform. But Tracy steps in again. I'm over that. I'm done with that. I've talked about that. And Iyanla said, yeah, you talked about it, but have you healed from it? Just because you talked don't mean you've healed. Tracy got to sit back again. This is the second time she done got shut down about her own feelings. So she got to sit back and she got to think about that a little bit. Another breakdown happens when they start talking about communication and talking. And where did you learn how to communicate? Well, we learned how to communicate from our parents. Well, tell me about a time when you guys had some type of communication with your parents. So they start talking about the divorce. And they remember being in their parents' bedroom and both of them saying, we're going to be getting a divorce. And so as children, or maybe even teenagers, they asked, what's going to happen to us? Daddy Braxton said, ask your mama. Miss Evelyn said, ask your daddy. So that right there, you can see it affected them in some kind of way, because they were in limbo. They felt like they were in limbo when it came to their parenting. And that's a hard spot to be in as a child. And even though you can feel like you're hiding stuff from the kids or you're hiding your emotions, children feel a lot of the things that we feel. They're in the same household that we are. They were a part of our bodies at one point. So they feel. When Iyanla talks to Trina, I love Trina. because Trina wears her heart right out there on her sleeve. Like, she makes no qualms about the fact that she hates where their relationship is. She loves her sisters. She just loves being there with them. She misses the good times, and she wants to get to the point where they're not constantly going over the same stuff over and over again, but they're actually working through and getting through some things and carrying on their relationship. So Trina was very clear about what she was there for. Everybody else, you kind of really don't understand. So then Iyanla wants to know, what are your family values? Let's write down some of the family values. So they're writing stuff down like, no hitting each other, and, about loving each other, about family before friends. Michael Braxton, honey, he thought he was so smart. He raised his hand and he was like, what goes on in this house stays in this house. And Iyanla said, oh, cool, secrets. Not giving up. And Iyanla, said, well, your parents gave up. They got a divorce, which I didn't think that comment wasn't needed, Iyanla. And that pissed Evelyn off. She rolled her eyes once again, but she had been rolling her eyes the whole time. And after they go over what their family values are, they start talking about commitment. I need you guys to be committed. Are you committed to stay to the end? She goes around the room. You committed? You committed? You committed? Everybody's raised their hand. Mama Evelyn said, we'll see. And Iyanla said, now, Mama, that's going to be a problem, because if you're not committed to stay to the end and you're saying we'll see, then that means to me that you're not fully committed to this process. And we don't want to have a moment where something is said or done and you get up and walk out the room. And she's on Miss Evelyn with this whole commitment thing for a while, but she's trying to get Miss Evelyn to see that it's very important that you stay to the end, because your girls, even though they are grown women, they look at you. They look up to you. If you get upset, that's going to then make them upset. And we saw this during the episode. When Iyanla made the suggestion that we got to look at the common denominator, we got to go from, the top to the bottom. We got to look at the fish. We got to see what stinks. Here come Miss Evelyn. Well, I can tell you right now, I don't stink. I don't have a stench. I don't smell. And I was just like, see, now you just being ignorant, Miss Evelyn. And I hate to say that, because you somebody mama, and I wouldn't want nobody talking about my mother or my grandmother like this, but it is what it is. You're sitting in there and you're acting as if she's talking about you directly. That's not what she's saying. She's saying we got to trace back a pathology. If there's a problem with communication, we got to trace a pathology. If there's a problem with nastiness or bitterness, we got to trace back a pathology. And Tracy, she steps in when they get to talking about Miss Evelyn getting frustrated because she won't say, yes, I will commit to the end. Tracy jumps in and she's just like, well, that makes me kind of feel like our parents just did everything for us, and they've been there for us, and they've done what they had to do for us, and it can be hard for them seeing us argue. She basically tries to take ownership of what they're feeling, instead of saying how it made her feel that her mother said she wasn't going to stay to the end. And it was at that moment that I saw one of Tracy's issues. See, Tracy, we love you, but you do have a history of playing the victim. You do. Even though a lot of times you already are ousted and on the outs and an outcast with your sisters, you don't make it any better, because instead of stating your feelings and stating how you feel and what you feel, you hold back. It's kind of like a garbage can. Y'all ever put seafood in a trash can, you forget to take it out, and you just keep piling trash and piling trash and piling trash, and you can keep the smell covered up as long as the lid is on it, but after a while you can't take the stench. You got to put it out in the hallway. That's what Tracy does in her relationship with her sisters. She lets it pile up and pile up and pile up, and after a while it starts to stink. She can't take it. And so instead of sitting in the room with them and talking it out, she ostracizes herself more and more. She can't be around them because there's too much trash in the trash can. That's exactly how Tracy tends to operate. Eventually, y'all, it got to the point where even I wanted Iyanla to get off of Miss Evelyn, because after a while she was just being ornery and mean to me. Even Tawanda yelled out, just say yes already, that yes, you're going to stay. You know, why are you doing this back and forth? But I'm going to tell you why Evelyn's doing this back and forth with Iyanla. And it don't have nothing to do with her believing that Iyanla can't fix her life. It has everything to do with the fact that Evelyn is the matriarch of this family. She feels like she runs this family. She feels like she runs the girls. She was mad because she could not run her husband anymore. And she doesn't want anybody else coming in and stealing her show, her limelight, what she has built. And it's understandable because I'm protective as well, you know, and I ain't even got no kids. But I'm protective over my family unit as well. So it's understandable. But obviously, Miss Evelyn, the way that you have been going about it, and supposedly you're a life coach as well, get into that. But the way that you've been going about it is not working for your family. Let somebody else who might be able to see things from another perspective help y'all out. But she don't want to do that. That's why she liked Dr. Sherry. Because with Dr. Sherry, she could run all over her. Y'all remember when she counseled herself with Dr. Sherry out there, but where I am. I like where I am. I don't need anybody around me. Y'all remember all of that, right? Miss Evelyn is not ready to hear the truth about what Iyanla might say about their relationship. I'm pretty sure she watched Trina's Fix My Life, and she not prepared for whatever might be brought up. It's been a long time that I've been watching this show, and I can remember them confronting their father. I can remember people saying how bitter Mama Evelyn was, and I just did not agree at the time. And I still don't agree that Mama Evelyn is bitter about their divorce. I think that Mama Evelyn is bitter about the fact that she stood up to raise those girls and dealt with their emotions and their heartbreak over not having the same relationship with their father. Now, I don't think that they didn't have a relationship, but I felt like Miss Evelyn tried to toughen those girls up because she did not know what else to do to help them cope with their feelings. I think Mama Evelyn is more bitter about that. And coming from a household where my mom did get divorced from my stepfather, watching her go through those things, you do become very protective over your mom. So when they answer questions a certain way, you can just tell that they're still very, not fearful of Miss Evelyn, but they're very scared to hurt her. And I'm just like that with my mom. Like, I can't, it's just certain things that are hard for me to say and do around her because I care so much about how she feels. And I protect her because I don't feel like anybody else ever did. I understand why they are protective of Mama Evelyn. But, like Iyanla says, sometimes we do got to call a thing a thing. All right, so on day 2, the call time is at 11 a.m. Tell me why nobody gets there as a group collectively until 4:40 p.m. So we see a whole bunch of stuff going on between this 11 and 4 o'clock time. And Iyanla's walking in. She's sitting down. She's ready. She gets back up. She goes back to the van. We see the cast and the crew. We see everybody getting restless. At this point, the only people that are there are Daddy Braxton, Tracy, Tawanda, Trina, and Mama E. Daddy Braxton is over there reading his newspaper, humming, honey. He just like he on a vacation. And everybody else is just rummaging around. Tony is not there because Tony had another obligation. She had to push back until 2 o'clock. Tamar is not there for some other obligation she got to do. We don't know when Tamar is showing up. Finally, Tamar gets there after Tony around 4-something p.m. And when Iyanla walks in the house, they're just now eating, and she's pissed. She come in there, she let them know, I've been waiting on y'all. Y'all wasn't here. Y'all was supposed to have breakfast together. Y'all was supposed to cook breakfast together. That's what Mama E said they were going to do. And y'all ain't did none of that. I come in here, I had to have lunch on my lap. I wasn't too good. I was not late. I honored my commitment to you. But at some point you have to say, not on my watch. Iyanla is done. When a black woman come in and they start banging on tables with their purse still on their arm, they have no intention of having any more conversation with you. I don't know what was going on with Tamar. It's like 7 personalities jumped out of her body in a 5-minute span. Baby girl was whole entire time Iyanla was talking. She was carrying on. So Tamar gets up talking about, that's why I don't deal with WeTV. That's why I don't do WeTV. Iyanla looking at her like, what? Girl, I don't know WeTV from a, fairy or elf. I don't know nothing about no WeTV. What I do know is that you and your sister were late. and y'all came in here like you didn't care, like it didn't matter. This is what you do in this family. These are the Braxton family values. You don't show up to work. You don't honor your commitment. Tamar tries to talk. She said, no, no, no. Your behavior diminishes your message. I said, child, been waiting how many seasons? 6 seasons for somebody to tell Tamar this. I was with it. And Mama Evelyn is trying to get Iyanla to stop so Tamar can talk. And she was like, no, she doesn't get to talk. You can't do what I do because I tell the truth. And I ate my lunch in my lap. She was really mad about eating that lunch in her lap. You know what? I'm not doing it. Y'all can talk amongst each other. I honor my commitment. I was here for you. You wasn't even here for yourselves. I'm out. And so she gets up and she leaves. And I was fine with it. I was 100% here for it. I am so sick of the Braxtons thinking they can go into people's offices, tell them what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, how they're going to behave, how they're not going to behave. They run over the therapy session. They run over the mediation session. And I'm sick of that. So I was glad they finally had somebody who was willing to stand up. That's all I got. I probably missed something, but you know. These are the Braxton family values. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.